Hi, this is an update for those of you who've been following my post-operation odyssey, and to call it an odyssey isn't hyperbole. And later, I'll talk about my experience with the Z24-120 f4 zoom lens used with the Z6 III for traveling. Now, if you want to skip over this intro, I'll add chapters. But again, I want to thank those of you who've been here for all the support, the comments, healing thoughts, and even financial contributions. Thank you. I'm just gobsmacked, if I can say that word, except to offer my gratitude and to say that all the kindness, it's really helped me immensely to navigate this challenge. So I've had a little break, except for the firmware update, first to figure out how I might continue doing what I do here, given that my speech is significantly compromised and it's unlikely to improve that much. Though I am working on it with help from a speech therapist, I realized that I've lost something that was, for sure, a big part of my identity, though it wasn't something that really I was aware of until I started YouTube, even my first channel back in 2009. But over time, people commented that I had a pleasant voice, and they appreciated I didn't use it to shout into the camera. Brands were complimentary too, starting somewhere around the 2,000 subscriber point. They were eager to have me represent their products. Well, that's gone. My old voice, I mean. Some of the companies that I've collaborated with, they've said that they're happy to stay on board. So now I have this new normal that's anything but normal. But it's what I have to work with. And I'll try to do the best that I can. As a recap for those new to the channel, back on Halloween, October 31st, I certainly can't say it was a treat, but radical oral surgery, it did save my life, so far, from an aggressive tumor at the base of my tongue that had also invaded a lymph node in my neck. And I have to credit the amazing team at Vancouver General that used the latest robotic techniques to pull off the almost impossible task of excising the beast that had invaded right up against my carotid artery and over to my voice box. I've been given 50-50 odds of coming through. So far, so good. This was my third fight with this particular cancer over the last 21 years. 2003, radiation therapy to the rescue, though I have to say it added complications that have intensified the last few years, but saved my life, considering that I was a stage 4 case, and made my survival a cover story, I might say, for IMRT, that's intensity modulated radiation therapy, which was pretty new at the time. I was one of just 6 to test the program in British Columbia. Well, what did I have to lose, right? It's now the go-to method for head and neck cancers. 2007, surgery on the left side, and a few months ago, a severe sore throat in the exact same place as 2003 that I hoped at the time, despite my suspicion, I hoped it was COVID. No such luck. As hinted at in the intro, I'm now restricted to a liquid or pureed diet. So I'm exploring all kinds of alternative recipes. Amanda slaves over a hot liquidizer, and we've never bought so many bananas. I have feverish dreams of pizza and steak, and I'm tempted by fast food ads on TV that honestly I wouldn't have looked at twice before now. So that's a tough one, admittedly, but something that I have to get used to. I don't recommend this as a weight loss program. Please leave your smoothie recipes in the comments below. So yeah, I've been busy with follow-up medical appointments, doctors, swallow tests, speech pathologists, and a follow-up consultation with surgeons that took me back to Vancouver. What's that, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, which meant, like my first consultation, a long drive up island, well, 110 kilometers or so anyway, and that was a pleasant drive on a beautiful sunny day. Then, the next day, a 40-minute fast ferry ride into a foggy city all decked out for Christmas. The usual frantic traverse of the city over to the hospital for my follow-up consultation. I took the Z6III and 24-120 f4 zoom, and indeed it is an excellent setup for travel, and I'm very happy with my decision.
It's Christmas again!
Now, I've always loved 24mm over 28mm, but of course, 28mm is there if you want it, along with what are really all the most useful fields of view. In my view, you have everything from a landscape lens to portrait and more. If you recall, I talked about getting a travel lens back in May, when again I had to go over to Vancouver for another surgery, same flavor of cancer, but confined to my epidermis. Anyway, I think I mentioned the 24-200 variable aperture lens, and maybe the 28-400, but I decided on the 24-120 for a number of reasons. One, it's an S-line lens. No question, it's optically superior. Two, it's a fixed aperture lens, f4. Now, it does extend on zooming, but it does focus internally. I always prefer to have zooms zoom internally, like the S-line 2.8 Holy Trinity. But it has have everything, I guess. And I haven't had any issues with the 14-30 f4, which was one of the first Z lenses that I bought. I do like that there's no lock right on the 14-30, and that does irritate me a bit. And I appreciate the auto manual focus switch, especially the program button, and to a lesser degree, the programmable control ring. The build quality is, like all S-line lenses, excellent. A mix of metal and composite metal lens mount. It really is a professional level unit. This is a really nice range that covers most of what I'd need on really any given day. It's been around for 2 years now, and it's received a lot of praise as a perfect travel lens. And I agree. But right after I bought the lens, in anticipation of some adventures further afield, well, my life got more complicated, and aside from unboxing it, it remained unused. When it comes to the latest Vancouver trip, I didn't really have much time between appointments and travel to give this combo a full workout, but I continue to enjoy using it closer to home. Sure, I love my primes, but a zoom that covers the bases really are more practical when it comes to keeping things light and compact. And this lens and the Z6III fit nicely into my favorite travel bag, the Billingham Hadley Pro that I bought in London on my last trip back to England in 2016. Incidentally, do you want me to review that bag? Besides the Z6III and this 24-120, there's room for, say, the 14-30, a few filters, cards, and spare batteries in the front pockets, even a second body, say the ZF, and my 13-inch MacBook, though it does get a bit heavy at that point, especially in my weekend state. Of course, as we see, this pairs so well with the versatile 24-megapixel Z6III, a fairly compact camera, though slightly larger than its predecessors. It's packed with Nikon's latest technologies, X-Speed 7 processor, up to 8 stops of in-body image stabilization, leading video specs, internal 10-bit RAW, up to 6K. And I'll link my 1-month review here. The 24-120 is the lens that you're looking through right now, set to 24mm, and I'm using the Z8 here. Now, the zooms that you're seeing are not from the lens. They are done in post-production. Since there's plenty of resolution from the Z8's 8K video to accomplish that. And speaking of post-production, finally, Apple Final Cut Pro just added AI-generated captions in its latest release, just in time for me to test them on my last but one video. I should say that Apple have always been serious about accessibility. Another reason that I'm an Apple fanboy. Thanks to those of you who participated in a community post poll, it seems like most of you appreciate the embedded captions, but editing YouTube captions is also an option, as one kind commenter pointed out recently. And I think that's what we'll try out here. I'm working on finding those lost G's and C's. Hopefully I'll find a new way to form those sounds, as I say, with the help of my speech therapist, who is incidentally an all-round wonderful person. I think I mentioned in one of those post-op videos that continuing to make videos is therapeutic, both psychologically, that's for sure, because making things has been just that for as long as I can remember. But in terms of speech therapy, I think I try to enunciate more, I hope, clearly for your benefit. So thanks again to all of you who are staying with me on this adventure. I really, really appreciate it. I'm not sure if I'll finish anything else before Christmas, so here's to a happy festive season and lots of great holiday snapshots. Do you have the 24 to 120 f4 for traveling or something else? Let us know in the comments, and if I don't see you before then, Happy New Year. So then, if you enjoyed this video, please give it the old thumbs up, and if this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss new content from me. In the meantime, take care. Cheers. We'll see you later.